This is Ali, and I directed a full day for my film Sweet Haste using this. Now, was it a genius plan? Was it an absolute nightmare? I'm going to be sitting right over here to tell you more about the making of Sweet Haste from the moment we conceived that idea to the moment we uploaded it on the YouTube. Also, I'm teaching myself how to speak with confidence, so bear with me.
Roll title card.
Well, me and Isaac had this idea of making an anthology series made of short films. And among them, there was supposed to be a short about a bank robbery. You might be wondering why a bank robbery? Well, we grew up in a hometown called Wobulenzi, and it has this old post office building, and it looks like an old bank. And when we got a chance to see it in the inside, it was looking like a bank, like someone could use it as a bank in a movie. By 2022, we had written a script called Mystery Bounty, the end of Adora's endurance. Yeah, it was that long title. We wrote this by the time we were making Curfew Nights, and this was supposed to be our next project. Big break, but oh boy, was it ambitious. It required us 8 locations, different locations, some from the city, and some of the sets for this script were supposed to be built from scratch. You know, I've always wanted to go big, but money says you should do small.
Stop it. Get some help.
And by 2023, guess what? The script had leaked. What? Because we had overshared it.
What the fuck?
They paid us 50-50K. Yeah, there is a big story behind that, but a sneak peek, they tried to change the scenes. They tweaked the dialogue, but, you know, we knew because that was our movie. We wrote it. That is enough for the miserable experience. So we had to reroute our creativity to somewhere else. Our next project there was this crazy scissor reel. We thought that we'd never made a proof of concept for Mystery Bounty. So probably when we make a proof of concept for our next project, we shall have a go. And still, in that project, there was supposed to be a bank scene. So this project was called Retro Static. Yeah, we created a scissor reel. It is there. But still, we could not find funds to make it. Bro, what do you want to look at? So that brings us to 2 days before we filmed the first scene of Sweet Haste. And this is how it came about. You see, buddies of mine were filming some projects in my hometown, and they needed someone to do the visual effects for them. So I was there to help them through the project. I mean, they never had a doc. They never secured a doc for a court scene. So we had to make a CG doc for them. And that was my role on their project. They wrapped up in the afternoon of 17th Tuesday, October 2023. And since we wanted to keep our YouTube channel alive, I spoke to them about using their camera for us to film something 2 to 3 minutes at post office building in our hometown, the one we always wanted to use, with their actors. And they were like, yeah. And we were like, booyah, let's get it done. So I got a piece of paper and a pen because I had no time to write. We had no time to write a script, to be honest, because this was the afternoon of Tuesday and we were only given following day until midday. So I got a piece of paper and wrote some things down. At the back of my mind, I knew I wanted something funny and something that people could relate with. So I wrote the dialogue, the action, and the shots. And I also made some storyboards. I was so intense that I couldn't even use a computer to write this. A list of props, character names. Yes, I kept it simple, but also specific to the kind of shots, movements, and transitions that I wanted. Purchased some props, hired a car, and by 8, we were already at the location. We had booked a cleaner a day before, but she never showed up, so we had to do it ourselves. Yeah, we showed the first day, and the rest is history, with, of course, with ups and downs. Action! Action! Background action! Action! Get out! Action!
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass.
So that brings us back to the question that I imposed in the beginning. Was this a brilliant idea or an absolute nightmare? Yeah, and of course you have the answer right now. It was nightmarish, and I'll probably never do it again. Next time I'll do a live action movie, planning has to be part of the process first. Because boy, everything was a mess. We had planned to shoot for 4 hours. We ended up using 8 hours. We could be having a nomination from the Academy right now, but because of poor planning. After filming the first scene, how did we end up with a second and a third and a fourth scenes? Well, there were signs that we were not going to get audio because we were filming in a location that had a wood milling factory. Realized we had no audio. We had failed to pull off what we had intended to pull off. So that is when we came up with other scenes with an actual script for us to make sense out of the whole thing. Yeah, we went back to the drawing board, and this is where the goof and the cringe was written. And if you think what you saw on the screen was super intentional, you are wrong. Because we wrote about 3 drafts. And this is where we came up with serious themes like filmmaking and storytelling. We never had those in our first draft. This seemed like the easier way to complete a story arc like the one we had started. And we never knew how it was going to end. Here's a quick trivia. This stage was hard as A, cultivating on a rock, B, making Steven Spielberg or convincing him to direct a Marvel movie, or finding a sex scene in a Wakaliwood film. Well, you're all right, because boy, was it hectic. I mean, we were trying to build a script around a scene that we had not shot the way we wanted, and this meant that we're going to change everything. It is also worth mentioning that we wrote this in a period of 4 months. It might sound a lot, but this is also the time that I was working on the visual effects of the first scene that we had shot at the first location, because remember I told everyone that I was going to fix this in post here, and they believed me because I was the director. Yeah, and we really tried, and we're going to be looking at that in one of the episodes after the next one. Now, for the next episode, we're going to be talking about the process of filming, casting, and finding locations for the script that we had written. We have our final script in place, but the drama was just beginning. Roll title card, please.